More 5-stars on the move. We're going to run through a couple of these big name visits, and starting with offensive tackle Emanuel Ianacho. He is visiting Auburn this weekend. What do you think here? Because Auburn's kind of had a foot in the door of this recruitment for a while. Now it's official visit time.
Yeah, they've always kind of hovered around that 3, 4, 5 range. I think that's kind of the story for Auburn the rest of the cycle, Josh, because this is a year where people are waiting to see what Auburn does on the field. And if they can go out and play well on Saturdays this fall, I think they could become the program to really watch in November, similar to Florida, the way the Gators pushed for a top 10 class. But the honeymoon is over for Hugh Freeze and his staff. They have really done a good job in the transfer portal. They've recruited 2 straight top 10 classes. Now they can't, there's no more, this is what we're building. Come watch what we built this fall and then see if you want to be part of it. I think they'll be able to come back around on some guys. Now, Manny Ianacho, his recruitment's been very fluid. Auburn's been a mainstay within that, but they've never led. Oregon and LSU lead right now, but he's always had a lot of love for Auburn, their coaching staff, their environment. He's been on the plains, has had some really good visits with them. He gets to get back around them. And if you're Auburn, you just want to hang tough here for Manny Ianacho, and then you go out and play some ball this fall.
All right, number 1 running back, Savian Haidider. He returns to Athens this weekend. But to me, Steve, I want to get your opinion on this. It feels like Georgia has a little ground to make up as we head into the weekend.
Doesn't mean they won't. He's been to Georgia several times. Coach Crawford, Coach Smart, the program, the tradition, the way they run the football, the culture of the offense, the physicality of it. Savian Haidider knows what he's getting from Georgia, the winning pedigree. He's been there in multiple different environments, has spent a lot of time around the Georgia program, and they're one of his top 4 schools. So even though I'm out here saying that I think Michigan and Tennessee may have the edge in this recruitment, and those are the ones I like the most, he's been consistent with his top 4 since the Under Armour game in January. Took some visits in the spring. Now he's taking his official visits. He's going to make his decision, and it's Georgia that gets the ball this weekend.
All right. Another big name wide receiver on the move, Cedarian Morgan. This weekend, he's in Gainesville. Last weekend, the Gators had 5-star Braylon Womack on campus. They've had Felix Ojo on campus. This weekend, it's Cedarian Morgan. Steve, how do you see it shaping up for him?
Well, last week when he was at Georgia, it was all about come play with Jared Curtis. At Florida, it's going to be all about come play with DJ Lagway, who's going into his 3rd year as the starter. You got to think he's going to be in that Heisman conversation by then, former 5-star recruit. There is so much excitement around this Gators program. Billy Napier, his wide receiver coach background, Florida's offense, the program on the rise. Alabama's my on 3 RPM pick, but Cedarian Morgan is going through his process, checking out his favorites, and Florida's a program he's always been high on. He went out to Colorado. You got Auburn in there as well, but Florida, it's their turn to make a move.
Right. Lamar Brown, the 5-star athlete. Can we call him an athlete? I love calling a 6'4", 285-pound human being an athlete. Normally it's the wide receiver DB, but today it's Lamar Brown because he could play offensive line, defensive line. This weekend he's at Texas. First of all, what side of the ball are they recruiting him at, and does the Longhorns have a shot here?
He could play a little tailback if you wanted to put that jumbo package in your program. Maybe we will see Lamar Brown get some touches around the goal line and some touchdowns at whatever school he chooses. He's a special athlete, an explosive player at the point of attack. Last year, when Justice Terry took his official visit to Texas, I thought it was a throwaway visit. I thought it was just, I'm going through my process, having fun, seeing what's out there. Texas is a great program, but he was going to go to Georgia or Auburn, but he went to Texas. Is this year's Justice Terry? Now, Texas A&M is the program that may have the edge. LSU is the on 3 RPM favorite. Jabari Mack said that LSU trailed Texas and then committed to in-state LSU. So we're not sleeping on LSU for Lamar Brown. You got Miami in there, but is this the recruit this cycle? Xavier Griffin, Lamar Brown. Texas is in on these 5-stars, and I don't even feel like they've started the car yet. Like the Longhorns, they have the number 14 ranked class in the country, and they haven't even left the driveway. So it'll be interesting how these official visits go for Texas. They're going to have a good season. Arch Manning's under center. There's going to be no program getting more airtime than the Texas Longhorns this fall with Arch Manning under center. And we know what they can bring on the field and off the field. If I'm recruiting against Texas from Lamar Brown, this is a visit that I'm a little nervous about now, where last year, I think when people saw Justice Terry visit Texas, like, I'm glad he's visiting Texas. He's not going to go to Texas as long as he's not back at Georgia, as long as he's not back at Auburn. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. All right, offensive tackle. Felix Ojo is going to be at Michigan. The Wolverines took a big swing at Jackson Cantwell, but missed. Now they have Felix Ojo on campus. Do the Wolverines have a shot here?
Yeah, I think anybody that Michigan deems in a top-of-the-board target, they have the infrastructure to go out there and make a move. And then you add in the fact that Felix Ojo plays offensive line. That's Sharon Moore's passion. We make a lot about Mario Cristobal and his offensive line background. Sharon Moore's got 2 Big Joe Moore Award trophies in his facility. He was the offensive line coach. He loves that position. And Michigan's got a lot to sell to the offensive line, their style of play, the tradition, the guys playing on the next level, the way they develop you, and the head coach involvement. Grant Newsome, their new offensive line coach who shifted over from tight ends, does an excellent job building relationships. So while I think Michigan trails Texas and Ohio State coming into the weekend, he's been to Florida twice, Michigan's got the juice to make a move with Felix Ojo.
All right, you talk to us. Where are these 5 stars going to land? Help us out. Comment section below. Let us know.